Okay, let's stick with going with That's not good English at all. It's not good English at all. Let's continue to talk about the ICE stuff. How about that? It says ICE advances sole source deal with Palantir for new surveillance backbone. This comes out July 10th. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is preparing to move forward with a sole source contract to Palantir Technologies for the development of the next generation of its investigative case management system, the ICM system, which includes biometrics for migrant identification. This is different. This is different than the other contract that we've talked about before, that one that came out about a month ago. This is a little bit different than that. This is adding on to it. This is another system that plugs into it, basically. It says the ICM is essential to the ICE Homeland Security investigations, where it serves as a primary software environment for managing case files, exchanging intelligence, tracking investigative data across multiple agencies, and tracking people. It is intertwined with ICE's controversial immigration lifestyle operating system, which is the Immigration OS, which was also developed by Palantir. Much to the consternation of privacy and civil rights advocates. Palantir was co-founded by Trump supporter and Elon Musk pal Peter Thiel and Alex Karp, of course. Designed to serve as the backbone of the HSI's investigative operations, ICM allows agents and analysts to create, track, and manage criminal investigations across a broad range of activities, including human trafficking, transnational crime, cybercrime, narcotics, financial offenses, and immigration violations. So whatever they want to throw on there, they can use it to track you. ICM facilitates the documentation and organization of investigative case files, evidence, intelligence reports, and interagency communications, and supports advanced data analytics, links analysis, and cross-references of individuals, entities, locations, and events. Critically, ICM also integrates with other federal law enforcement systems, providing a shared investigative ecosystem where information can be securely accessed and disseminated against agencies in real time. So simply put, you have the Immigration OS system that Palantir developed, which is designed for surveillance. It's designed to keep track, whether it's through facial recognition, biometric stuff, and other opportunities through like geofencing and so on and so forth. It's about tracking those people. This system now is taking the Palantir file system of taking everybody's information across the board, federal and local law enforcement, taking your files, putting it into one place, and attaching it to the surveillance system. This is taking the filing cabinet and strapping a camera to it. So when the camera sees you, it can just instantly get to your file. That's really what's going on with this. ICE describes ICM as a core operational tool that enhances decision-making, helps conflict investigations, and enables collaboration within and beyond DHS. It is also used to generate and manage legal documents, manage leads and tips, and ensure proper chain of custody and evidentiary protocols for prosecutions. ICE's decision to pursue Palantir as its executive vendor was revealed in its sources sought notice by the ICE's Office of Acquisition Management, and so on and so forth. The move follows several years of procurement planning and vendor evaluation, including an industry day held in June of 2023 and a formal request for information in July 2024. More than 50 responses were received, and multiple commercial off-the-shelf technology demonstrations were conducted. Despite all that, they chose Palantir. So 50 people offered their services for this, and they went with Palantir. Anybody surprised? I'm not. At the heart of the planned upgrade is the creation of the ICE Enterprise Lakehouse, internally referred to as the ICE House. Funny. This data architecture initiative is designed to consolidate all law enforcement data into a single, secure, and scalable platform. Remember, they're doing that with the government files too. We talked about that. Palantir is going in there and consolidating all files across all agencies into one singular filing cabinet for every person, all of our data in one place. And now they're doing it with the law enforcement stuff as well. through this contract. The architecture will be built using Apache Iceberg and Trino, two open source technologies that enable flexible data storage and advanced analytical querying. The new system will be capable of managing both structured and unstructured data, ranging from traditional case records to rich media like videos and scanned documents with real-time access and analytic features. Palantir's role in ICE's modernization of the ICM is inseparable from its work on Immigration OS, a deportation-focused surveillance platform developed under a separate $30 million contract. Immigration OS is built directly on top of the existing ICM infrastructure. Rather than functioning as a separate or standalone system, Immigration OS expands the technical foundation of ICM to include additional capabilities tailored for immigration enforcement, such as real-time tracking of visa overstays and individuals who have received deportation orders. This system is not built for immigration. This system's built for us. It's built for us. You think that, again, this is this idea of, well, you know, the government, they built it for this thing, so they're only going to use it for this thing. How many times throughout history have we heard that we're doing this for this particular thing, and then all of a sudden it gets flipped on us? The big one, of course, is the Patriot Act. We look at that. Well, this is built to fight against terrorism. It's only used for foreign people. That was a lie. It's been used against us the whole time. And it's only been expanded upon. It's only gotten worse. This is the next technological evolution of that. This is moving in that next direction. Big Daddy Palantir doing what it does. Now, when it comes to the combining of Silicon Valley and the military, this is something that we've been talking about, has been happening for a while. Well, they just got a direct injection now. It says Army recruits officers from Meta, OpenAI, and Palantir to serve in new detachment. Executives from high-tech firms Meta, OpenAI, and Palantir are joining the Army Reserve at the rank of Lieutenant Colonel to serve in Detachment 201, a new executive innovation corps the service announced on Friday. The move is the latest push by the department to tap into capabilities and know-how from Silicon Valley and the commercial sector. The new corps brings top tech talent into the Army Reserve to bridge the commercial military tech gap and is designed to fuse cutting-edge tech expertise with military innovation, the Army stated in a press release. On Friday, the service is set to swear in Meta's Chief Technology Officer Andrew Bosworth, OpenAI's Chief Product Officer Kevin Weil, whatever. Palantir's CTO Sham Sankar, and Bob McGrew, an officer at Thinking Machines Lab, who was previously OpenAI's chief research officer. Yeah, they are literally taking the top dudes from these corporations, these Silicon Valley corporations, Meta, OpenAI, Palantir, Thinking Machines, and they are directly plugging them into the military to direct the military operations, and not just plugging them in, you know, at a base level. They're giving them a very high level that takes many years of military service to get to, and they're instantly shooting up the ranks. Meta, which owns Facebook, recently announced a new partnership with the tech defense company Anduril, which is Palmer Luckey's group, who's heavily involved with the Trump administration as well. It says to develop extended reality products for soldiers. OpenAI is the maker of the wildly popular generative AI tool ChatGPT. The Army and the Defense Department writ large are pursuing new Gen AI tools to boost productivity and efficiency. Palantir is a major provider of software tools for the DoD, don't say, including the Maven Smart System, and is developing hardware such as the Army's AI-enabled Titan vehicle. Detachment 201 is an effort to recruit senior tech executives to serve part-time in the Army Reserve as senior advisors. In this role, they will work to work on targeted projects to help guide rapid and scalable tech solutions to complex problems. By bringing private sector know-how to uniform, Detachment 201 is supercharging efforts like the Army Transformation Initiative, which aims to make the force leaner, smarter, and more lethal. Service stated on Friday's press release. Oh my goodness, guys. This is what we've been warning about. I heard so many people saying that Trump's not for Silicon Valley and Trump's not for the military industrial complex. Meanwhile, I'm screaming into a box saying he absolutely is. He's actually telling us this. And here we go. It's crazy that we are seeing this happen real time in front of us right now. I'm not going to lie. It is crazy that we're actually seeing it, because this is stuff that's like, they are going as fast as they possibly can. I mean, they are going warp speed on this thing to try and make this happen. We jump over to another article here. It says direct commission officers fill specific roles. The 4 men who we just talked about will be directly commissioned as officers in the Army Reserve, a hybrid part-time position that is commonly offered to a range of candidates in highly trained professional fields, including doctors, lawyers, veterinarians, and others with specific industry skills such as logistics. However, most Army direct commission officers begin in more junior ranks as captains or majors, where they can immediately take active jobs in their fields rather than be expected to serve in leadership roles they have not prepared for. Not the case with these guys. The tech executives will arrive as lieutenant colonels, a rank that most officers reach and hold when they are deep into the second decade of a military career. Lieutenant colonels typically command battalion-sized units, commonly with between 300 to 1,000 soldiers. Now, they're not going to be doing that, but who's to say that they're not going to be commanding drone battalions? Something to think about. They may not be directing the soldiers, but they may be directing drone battalions because of the position that they're in. Also says all 4 of the executives now work at companies investing heavily in emerging fields like AI and machine learning, 2 subjects that the Army is looking to fold into future weapon systems. Palantir and OpenAI have been contractors for the Department of Defense, with Meta announcing a partnership with Anduril for troop augmented and virtual reality devices. So Meta is working with Anduril for augmented troops and virtual reality devices as well. So I wanted to put that in there to let you guys know what's happening there. This is where we're at. This is the dangers of this takeover. This is why I've had for a while, and I'm not going to delve into it, but this is why I've had it for a while, the conclusion that those 10 kings are eventually going to be industry leaders. I believe that they're going to be private people from corporations that are going to own the landscape of whatever industry that they're in for the world, because if you can control the industries, it's a lot easier to control people than if you control it through territories. And so when you look at something like this, when you continue to see private corporations, techno guys, and so on and so forth getting plugged into high-ranking positions, you're literally taking people from Silicon Valley and plugging them in as almost, I mean, these are almost generals in in the military, commanding things, commanding groups and battalions and so on and so forth. It just goes to show that this is the direction that they're going. They are building this system, and nothing's stopping it. Now, eventually it will get stopped. Again, what we're seeing is prophetic patterning. We're seeing the Tower of Babel trying to be rebuilt now, because again, it's everything is leading back to Babel. Everything that is being done now is trying to build what they were trying to build back in Babel, and God stopped that. He said, "No, you're done." And we know that He's going to do the same thing again now, but it's being done on a different degree, different technology scale. We don't know the technology that they had back then, but it's just being done in a different way. But it's still the same premise of what they're trying to build. It's very interesting to watch this unfold. Again, it's going so fast. I don't know. How many of you guys thought that we'd be seeing half the stuff that we're seeing right now? I didn't. I absolutely did not believe that we'd be seeing this. It's crazy what's going on. Okay. Got a couple more things here. Where I think we're okay on time. So sticking with kind of transitioning here with Palantir, sticking with Palantir, but transitioning a little with what's going on with Israel. We've talked about this in the past, but I just a reminder that the technology that the Israeli army is using also comes from Palantir. I can't make it much any bigger on the screen, guys, so I apologize because it starts cutting things off. But yeah, this is from January 12th, 2024. It says Thiel's Palantir and Israel agree strategic partnership for battle tech. This is Palantir Technologies, Inc., the data analysis firm that provides militaries with artificial intelligence models, has agreed to a strategic partnership with the Israeli Defense Ministry to supply technology to help the country's war effort. Things like Gotham and what was once called the Gospel, now Lavender, are Palantir Tech. They're involved with that. The Maven system is Palantir Tech, and these are being used by the Israeli army to do this. Down here at the bottom, it says Karp, in an interview with Bloomberg on Wednesday, again, this was back in 2024, said that Denver-based companies' products were in great demand in Israel since its war with Hamas began on October 7th. Palantir had a board meeting with Tel Aviv for the first time this week in solidarity with Israel. And again, I've gone over it before. It's very clear Israel knew that the Hamas attack was going to happen, and they let it happen in order for things to unfold to what we're seeing now. It's very clear. If somebody doesn't want to believe that, they either haven't done the research on it, or they're just choosing not to believe it. But critical thinking tells us that that's the case for what's happening now. And so having this Palantir Tech allows them to do the incredible things that they're doing. I keep pressing the wrong button on that. But it allows them to do a lot of the things that they're doing with massive precision strikes with just great numbers, doing great numbers of them in order to make that stuff happen. Speaking of Alex Karp, this is fascinating too. August 17th, 2024. Alex Karp says the U.S. will very likely fight a three-front war against Russia, China, and Iran. Palantir's Alex Karp says. Now, we know that what's going on with Israel right now, according to the media that's coming out, it says Israel has asked the U.S. to officially join their the campaign that's happening right now. And according to the media, the United States says they're not going to directly get involved. What we do know is Jordan, Saudi Arabia, the U.S. have all helped Israel shoot down incoming rockets from Iran. So we do know that. So we do know that the U.S. is helping in probably more ways than one. We just don't have the exact information regarding that, but we do know that they're helping. But it is fascinating that this is happening. Wars and rumors of wars. This stuff's going to increase as we continue to get closer to the day of the Lord, and we're certainly seeing a lot on that case. So I just wanted to point this out. It says the U.S. military has long prioritized being able to fight two wars simultaneously in different parts of the globe, similar to its efforts in the Pacific and European theaters during World War II. But Alex Karp, CEO of the data mining software company Palantir, which is known for its work in defense and intelligence, warned that the U.S. may have to wage war in 3 different theaters in the future. He told the New York Times that he thinks that the U.S. will be very likely find themselves in a 3-front war with China, Russia, and Iran. As a result, he said the Pentagon should continue developing autonomous weapons at full speed, pointing to big mismatches and how far the U.S. would be willing to go while fighting a war compared to other countries. Again, when you look at what they're doing now, where they're injecting these top people from these companies into the military, and we understand that there's been an increase in the U.S. getting involved with drones and autonomous vehicles and AI military soldiers and all these types of things, it goes to show that they are telling us what's coming. They're telling us what's coming. They do this. They have told us this for years, that they continue to tell us what's coming, what they're going to do to us. Shameless plug, but in the free book that I just released, I go over that. I go over the Luciferian principles and how they apply to this. I talk about how this is not anything new. Plato, back in the day, went over and that this was what's going to happen. They are going to tell us what's going to happen for many reasons. And so check that out if you haven't. But I go over that in there. And when we see stuff like this, and we know who Alex Karp is, we know the power that he holds, being a board-sitting member of the Bilderberg Group, being in control of Big Daddy Palantir that's involved with all this stuff, anywhere from supply chain to surveillance to military to all these things. Now they're plugged into 3D printing companies. We understand that this is very likely coming, which I don't believe we're going to be here for. But when the big war takes place, there's going to be a lot of autonomous stuff happening, I think. And a lot of this is going on. So I think we're in an age when a nuclear deterrent is actually less effective, because the West is very unlikely to use anything like a nuclear bomb, whereas our adversaries might. So he's feeding into the nuke stuff. He added, where you have technological parity but moral disparity, the actual disparity is much greater than people think. Karp continued, in fact, given that we have parity technologically, but we don't have parity morally, we have a huge advantage. He also said the military is very close to the threshold where somewhat autonomous drones that can kill become the most important weapons. You already see this in the Ukraine, which we know Palantir is plugged into the Ukraine stuff as well. So again, I think this is a situation where I think he's telling us. He told us, this was back in August of 2024. We're seeing the increase of Silicon Valley plugging into the military. We're seeing an increase when it comes to autonomous warfare. And we're seeing increase when it comes to hostilities with Russia, China, and Iran.